Welcome to OFOFO Studio. My guest for today is Sankalp Pandey. Sankalp is from Credshields, a Web3 security company. Sankalp, I'll just start by asking you what's your journey been like so far? How did you start and what you are up to these days?
Thank you so much, Angad, first of all, for having me here.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. Uh, for my journey, I probably will take you and the viewers in 2017, when I was in college, VIT Vellore. Uh, After 12th, I just like any other boy, I did not have a lot of the ways to pursue. Uh, my elder brother is a mechanical engineer. I thought, okay, machines are fascinating me a bit, and I was also into mechanical engineering college. Doing some carpentry work or some welding work. So I thought that okay, hands-on is something which is working out for me. So why not to have the same thing to do in the college as well. I entered in 2015 as a fresher, and when I entered there, kind of a rat race was there. Everyone is waking up at 8 a.m. doing that stuff. Normal 8 to 12:30 classes, and then 2 to 6. Kind of they're preparing for the 9 to 5 job, to be honest, right? So, and in the second year, I joined one of my NGO that kind of host VIT's biggest events, VIT Marathon, and the NGO name is Help in India, and I joined as a volunteer over there. I mean, nothing, no big deal as such. Was doing some registrations, but getting some people on board so that they can come and run the marathon over there. Fast forward, I kind of working into that thing. Was giving my majority of the time over there only. In the third and fourth year of my college, I was kind of acting as a sponsorship lead over there, and was in direct touch with the organizers over there as well. Uh, in between the process, I kind of learned the three important things. One is the public relations part, second is the marketing part, third is the sales part, and of course, not to mention a bit of an operational part as well. So all these things, when kind of sum up, they they probably try to shape more into an entrepreneur skills. I didn't know the word, neither I know the spelling right now, but you know what I mean, right? So um, after college, I without placements, I just entered into uh, uh, LinkedIn things, Naukri profile, ye profile, wo profile, and was figuring out what to do, what not to do. There's this guy Prashant Agarwal. I mean, he is a good mentor in my early days, and a few of my friends like Aditya Narayan Gupta, who's also my childhood friend and was into college as well. They both, as an individual, supported me a lot in my career journey, and I joined Edmingle as my first company, which is into an edtech space, and they are still doing very great job into that particular industry as of now. I kind of was in touch with both the three co-founders at that time, Gaurav, Harshit, and Prashant. So when I kind of started as a sales representative over there, again, no clue, right? But the only thing I knew, that sales is a number game. You make more calls, you get more leads, you probably get more demos and get the more closures. Simple funnel. I knew that. Lead generation, account handling, all these things, I tend to got it pretty late. All these journey in my career was adding up some skills over with me, since it was in edtech. So I was not very good with the communication skills, to be honest, and the English proficiency. I worked over there for the 7-8 odd months. I switched to another company called Smartu. One of my, again, childhood friend, Ayush Tandon, he helped me getting the referrals and other part of the getting the switch done. And I joined SmartServe. They were into some service-based automation businesses in US and Canada. It was a night shift, and again, the same story. I used to make 70, 80 calls, but this time, my core theme was to getting my English proficiency done, understanding the a startup which is bigger than the previous one,
Yeah.
and how the things are actually working out over there.
Right.
Worked there around 10 to 11 months down the line, right? I again, so there's a small masala in between. When I was working in Edmingle, I happened to be in touch with this company called Yellow.ai. At that time, it was Yellow Messenger. They were into conversational AI chatbot.
Yeah.
And when I went there for an interview, I was so dumb that I got rejected. And he's like, the manager Abhishek Khare, he just held my hand like an elder brother, and was explaining, okay, Sankalp, these are the few things that you need to work on, and call me right after an year. Of course, he probably might have forgotten it, but the date was, I guess, 3rd or 4th March. I again called him on 3rd and 4th March, right after an year, and this time I was able to crack it. And I was, working as a sales representative over there, handling the pharmaceutical clients in India enterprise market. But then again, something was missing. Something was running behind the head. I mean, I don't know. I probably cannot, express that in the words, but something was there. कुछ तो kick नहीं मिल रहा था मेरे को. And so I have this thing, and I'm sorry to all the companies where I worked previously. After I was kind of done with their work, I still have that time, right? 6 to 12, which I could have used in 3-4 things: roam out with my friends, Netflix and chill, or could be anything which probably prominently
non-productive.
Non-productive, or could not add any value to my work hours.
Right.
I simply joined the startups. Three people company, 2 people company. I just go there, do something, and then come out. Do something and then come out. And I was in a this phase where I wanted to have something from scratch, but I don't know where to go and where not to go. Normally scrolling LinkedIn, I kind of happened to stumble upon the Credshields LinkedIn page. I saw, okay, that these guys have raised pre-seed, and founder is Shashank. Shashank is Aditya's roommate back in VIT. Co-founder is Indranil. Indranil is again from VIT. Ayush Tripathi is tech lead. Tech lead is also from VIT, and why not to have me, right? I mean, tech lead will build the tech. Shashank will do the audits. Indranil will look for the operations part and the tech side. At that time, he was working the tech side. Who will sell? There's no one to sell. There's no one to do the marketing. I checked the socials. Socials was was a bit of an organized thing. Taking all these pain points of the founders, because I'm sure that they were thinking that bana to liya becega kaun, right?
Correct.
So I drafted a message. I guess it was around 2:30 a.m. in the night. I sent a message to Shashank saying that, Shashank, look, I'm kind of working in a company right now, and I want to make a switch. Of course, I mean, Indian parents, right? I mean, it's very hard to tell them, okay, 5 people company is much better than 500 people company, right? To work and to learn. If I only want to have that chai breaks in between, I am good where I was working there. But if I really would want to take my trajectory y equal to e ki power x, I have to shift, right? Keeping that x is positive, of course, otherwise it will go down. Right. So yes, I mean, Shashank replied saying that, okay, let's get on a call and bunch of other stuff. I just set up a call with him. And since we knew each other, and deep down he knew, he also seen me, working in college time. I also seen him, working in the security time. So there was not a cold gap in between. There was some bridge, right? And now it's not the college time, and we have to connect on the professional levels right now with no proper expectations. I just joined them, right? He's like, dude, where are you working right now? It's completely different. I was like, okay, I'll see. मैं देखता हूँ, right? And I joined in April last year. April to September, I was with him. I was learning some blockchain thing, some security thing, some Web3 thing, right?
Were you exposed to all of these before you even messaged them? No,
not at all. Okay. I heard about Polygon before, but then I thought, the Polygon kya hai? It's a startup, right? I mean, people are joining it, people are leaving it. Oh, that's fine. I mean, I just ignore, just like the way we ignore the software license agreement, and I did that like properly, right? So, but this time I was like pretty aware, okay, where I'm entering, right? And one good thing about at that the intro call with Shashank and Indranil is that they didn't kind of, because Web3 is right now a scare thing, right? Because someone who is already into the momentum of Web2, and someone let's say if you're asking that, okay, you have to leave this industry and working on some other part, they didn't do that. They said nothing, right? They said, okay, come on board, do some sales, and we'll see, right? And that's it. We'll see ... was the thing. I started, right? And I mean, doing the same stuff which I was used to do earlier. Open LinkedIn, 5 लोग को message करना,
Yeah.
and there's no response. Okay, no responses. Excel sheet maintain करना, 10 people today reached out, no responses. But
how do you reach out? Like, just to sorry to interrupt, but
No,
what's the content of the message like?
content of the message was again very immature and dumb, because I was not too much into security, and and how to position the security from a user's perspective.
Right.
Right. I was only presenting security as per my own understanding.
Yeah.
That how it is. I mean, how the company has made that. I mean,
Yeah.
no big deal as such, to be honest, right? So, yeah, I mean, reach out was very normal, just like we do in Web 2.
Mhm.
Three major channels. Number one is the LinkedIn, that is like any day from a social standpoint. Emails, of course, for the professional standpoint, and the calls.
Yeah.
Calls at that time, you cannot make calls just like I used to do in Smart 7 at Mingle, because of the cold calls.
Yeah.
These calls are you have to set up. I mean, just like we do in a normal demo setting, right? We just schedule a call, the Google Meet, and then we interact with each other.
Yeah.
So one or two key things which I had in my mind, in the back, is that I don't want to throw them a lot of knowledge, right? I want to act dumb on calls, because so that they speak more, so that they get sold by themselves and they teach me.
Got
Right.
it. Yeah.
So my learning in Web3 in the blockchain cybersecurity part of the blockchain security was not by any Google search. Of course I did, but not too much of the YouTube videos. This has come from the potential prospects, right? And which I think was the best knowledge, because you eventually have to interact them.
Right.
If they are teaching you, I mean, that's the best way to learn, if in my vision. So yeah, I mean, I kind of made a bold move in September, taking back, again on the story. And in September, I joined as a head of growth over there. Figuring out how can we distribute the, the marketing part of the Credshields.
Yeah.
Because if I talk about which will be, I'll be doing in a bit about Credshields and what we are doing and not. So figuring out the distribution part, figuring out the revenue part, partnership part, because in Web3, everyone is like, very aggressive to partner. I mean, let's partner.
Right. Yeah.
And in Web2, partnership is a very crucial thing, right? Because that has to pass stage by stage. Here, let's partner. I mean, if two people are meeting in a meetup, let's partner.
Right.
So partnership was happening. Like, I was very amazed, like, कोई भी partner कर रहा है यार, मतलब कुछ भी चल रहा है. So I was like, ठीक है. If this probably has worked out for multiple companies, I'll replicate this.
Right.
This might, work out for me as well, and it did, right? Because I was growing and I was partnering with someone who has already seen that journey, right? Somewhere not probably solving a solid use case, but somewhere deep down, he and I know that, okay, we probably can, brand each other in some way or the other.
Yeah.
So that was the journey. I mean, and scaling up, all these processes, keeping the partners very specific right now. I am not partnering with anyone right now.
Okay.
I have to do a due diligence, because that should add value for both the companies, because we were not right now. I mean, right now the situation is very different, which was there for the past year. So so that is
how is it different?
I mean, we have significantly grown in terms of the market adoption, market visibility, which probably I'll be talking a bit.
Yeah.
And in terms of getting the things done, right? Internal processes got streamlined in a much better way.
Nice.
So
let's talk about some of the initiatives that you took in the last year in order to increase visibility, awareness, engagement, the things that you're responsible for. Tell me about some of the initiatives that did really well, and if you want to talk about some that really failed, you're welcome to do that as well.
For sure. I mean, I'll happy to touch both of the aspects, but let me start with a bit of an intro about the Credshields.
Yeah.
Right. What we are doing, and the marketing distribution of we are talking.
Right.
What exactly distribution we are talking, because Credshields is a services company. Services companies distribution works in a very different way. The things which I have tried right now. So Credshields essentially is a Web3 security labs, where a good mind from the Web2 cybersecurity are doing some research and development, figuring out the blockchain security. So let's understand that the three major segment of the web that has been working so far: Web 1, 2, and 3. So Web 1 was somewhere between 1980s to 2007, 2008, where if you imagine you are reading a page, right? You're actually reading a Wikipedia page or probably any HTML page which was written. Facebook was the company who kind of disrupted the Web 1, where you can go ahead, comment, and like. That means that you are interacting with that particular piece of content, right? But the problem with the Web 2 was that all these things would getting stored somewhere in a centralized place, and and the decisions of that particular thing is governed by one single person, right? Which is in a way a problem with the security as well as the privacy, right? Web3 kicks in in order to overcome all these things. So Web3 essentially is a decentralized sort of thing where not a single person is a kind of a decision maker. It is a sort of a driven by the community. Correct. So I mean, these are the basic aspects of the Web3. Rest viewers can definitely go and can read about it. And to cater this Web3 technology, the blockchain kicks in. So blockchains is a series of blocks that record your transactions, right? So which is again publicly available, right? So people right now building some Web3 use cases of the Web2 applications over the blockchain just to make people aware about their privacies and and bunch of other stuff related to that particular part. Now, all these things and the decisions are driven by a piece of code, and that code is called the smart contract. Got it. Right. And smart contract essentially, as of now, with the major adoption are in the Solidity language. There are other languages as well that support the framework of the smart contracts. Right.
Some examples of those languages,
like Rust, Golang, etc.
All right.
So so coming back to the smart contract part, smart contracts on blockchain, right? They are open to all. So I want you to have two segments in your head right now, one Web 2 and one Web 3, right? For example, if this is a software and this is and its code base is stored somewhere, and there might be 2 or 3 people who only has the access of this code base completely.
Right.
But imagine a situation that the same product's code base is publicly available. Publicly available, right? So when a thing is publicly available, there are two set of people. Like let's say if I put any Supra car in front of in the middle of the road, there are two set of people. One who can really appreciate it, can take the photos, and the one who is gonna steal it and take it away, right?
Yeah.
So and that mindset you cannot change, right?
Right.
I mean, I gave a very vague analogy, but you understand what I mean. So when these smart contracts, when these piece of codes are publicly available, and by the way, these piece of codes are not just the codes. It has got some money as well. I mean, stored some money, because Web3 blockchains biggest use case is the DeFi, decentralized finance, because traditional finance has got a lot of a loophole in between. But I mean, I don't want to jump into that part, but majority of those use cases, decentralized finances are solving, just like Quickswap, Uniswap, and a few others as well, right? So, and now since these smart and all these decisions of these Quickswap and Uniswap generally driven by the smart contracts only. So all in all, smart contracts stored some money as well, right? Which essentially got hacked as well, right? So these smart contracts, when they're publicly available, there are two set of mindsets again. One who can use it, and the other who want to break it.
Yeah.
Right. And these smart contracts are generally exploitable if the functions are not properly derived and the business logics are not it's not properly saved,
right,
and written as well, right? So that is the thing. So if something is publicly available, right, and if I talk about the hacker mindset, right, there's a high chance that the guy will come on the smart contract, he will read it, and he will break it. Right. And that has happened in the past, And if I talk about some values, I guess if I'm not wrong, in the Q4 of 2022, $780 million
Wow.
money got hacked from the smart contract.
In just 1 quarter.
In just 1 quarter.
Oh my God.
Total karoge to it will be billions, right? So, and this has happened. I mean, I gave a session in Polygon's Guild Delhi last year in September, October, and this was the at that time's value. Of course, if we sum up till now, I'm not sure about the exact number, but this will be ending somewhere in billions of dollars, right? So, this particular thing needs a security, right? And companies like Credshields, right? We kind of do that stuff because when a smart contract is about to go live on chain, that has to be audited by someone. Right. In Web 2, the things works in a very different way, but in Web 3, if and that has to be there, right? Because a certification is important for the community people and the investors and everyone, right? Because I mean, if I would want to trade any token, right, on a single chain, I would definitely will make sure that this particular coin will not get rugged.
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
And for that, I need to study the audit report.
Yeah.
And that audit report is kind of given by companies like Credshields and the other companies in the spaces as well. But there's a thing to understand, right? Because such set of people are very less in the market.
Yeah.
Right. The auditors. Right. And the smart contract developers. If I'm not wrong, India is booming in terms of the developers right now. In Web3 developers, people from the outside are coming to India. They just want us to develop the project. So adoption, the developer adoption of the Solidity language in India so far is the highest, right?
Wow.
And you will see in the upcoming years a lot of projects, chains, and different ideas will export from India to outside, right? So I want you to think on a Web 2 cybersecurity level that when in 2008 when the Web 2 kicks in, around 15, 16, the automation of the cybersecurity kicks in, where they want to cut off a lot of dependencies on these auditing companies, that cybersecurity companies that does the data security, pen testing, etc. Right? And our founder Shashank Indranil, they knew it from the day one that the pattern will gonna repeat.
Yeah.
Right. Automation will require in Web3, but I'm not. I mean, no one is sure that when it will kick in. Right. So even before we registered the Credshields, we started building the product. That's a flagship product called Solidity Scan.
Yeah.
Right. And a single line intro about Solidity Scan is a developer first. Self-auditing platform. So basically, if I'm a developer writing a smart contract, even before I go for an auditing actual manual check, I definitely can go and do my own diligence on that particular piece of code. So another note to check in that with all these attempt, right, we are not cutting off the manual check businesses.
Yeah.
Right? It is on the developer side, right? I'm not saying that because if I do that, I probably will do a contradiction with myself.
Yeah.
Because we are a service, we do the audits under Credshields Labs, but then again we have a product as well. So, but the product is designed in such a way that it has to empower and equip those developers who are writing the smart contract.
So they have to be in tandem. They have to work together, I think.
Yeah. Correct. Because they should also know a bit about security, right? I mean,
absolutely.
किसी ने रोका नहीं, आप सीख लो, right? I mean, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है उसमें. तो yeah, I mean, on the same baseline, right? Seeing the pattern from the Web 2, we built Solidity Scan, right? And the distribution that we were talking about previously is in regard to that the same platform.
Okay.
Right. So, Credshields is the parent company. Solidity Scan is the product. And hereafter, we are only using Solidity Scan name because that is the mainstream thing which we would want it to have in the market. We, as I said, I mean, we say as a company, with a security company, but Credshields, I personally see as a labs because we want to work in a stealth mode, doing research, extensive research, so that the platform got matured. So in Solidity Scan, as of now, 130 vulnerability patterns which are already infused, which is right now at the topmost majority level in the market right now. there are some open source tool like Slither, supported by community, built by community, and managed by community. They have some odd, if I'm not wrong with the number, they have around some 85, 86, 87 patents, right?
And you're at 130.
We are at 130.
Wow.
Right. So we sort of, built the platform, too much of at that maturity level, and we are adding 46 more. So by the end of this year, it will be somewhere around 180, 185, which is at the highest maturity level in the market, right?
Nice.
Right. As the head of growth, right? I personally, the question that you asked, things that worked out, things that didn't work out for me.
Yeah.
There are so many things that didn't work out for me, right?
Let's start with those.
Yeah, let's start with those. So I again, take you back in last year, September, when I joined. I was again trying to replicate some of the models which worked out, good for the Web2 based startups, right? But so another thing, all these activities which I'm going to say right now, we are just another point to mention. We are a pre-seed funded company by Boost VC and Persistence, right? Why I said this statement, because as a head of growth, I could have used some marketing budget for myself, but I'm proud to say that I haven't used a single cent of a dollar, right, to actually go ahead and market my product in somewhere.
Nice.
Because the core team has got a vision that will not be using the funds until it is very necessary, right? And the market situation, you're right.
Yeah.
Right. It's a bull run, and you need to have a runway.
Right.
Right. And that is the only existence of the product and the company, right? And we were able to achieve that, right? So now coming back on these things, reach outs were there, social media thing was there, partner karenge was there, right? And I flew down from my native, which is Kanpur in Uttar Pradesh. I came here in Bangalore with a thought that ki boss, isko grow karna hai. Ab kaise karna hai, we have to figure it out.
Right.
So one thing I knew, that meetups is very important. I mean, at a certain level it is very important, because eventually then it will get saturated, because आप एक set of people आप हर जगह देखते हो.
Yeah.
And meetups, and if I as an individual would not go on ground, things will not move.
Absolutely.
Because if I go ground, I'll meet the like-minded people. They will tell me some good feedbacks, right? I'll use them.
Yeah.
I'll fail them. I want to fail as much as I want, right? Because मेरे को सेल्फ वैलिडेशन में नहीं जाना कि जो मैं कर रहा हूँ वो ठीक है.
Yeah.
I want to fail. मेरे को fail होना था. And so far I've attended around 73, 74 meetups.
Wow.
I maintain an Excel sheet जहाँ पे सब लिखता हूँ मैं कहाँ से मिला है. And 73, 74. And if I discount it as a meetup, then it will be 75, right, with you. So, I mean, all these meetups, initially it was a very, very new, very dumb sort of person, entering into a meetup, looking around what is happening, what's not happening. Yeah. So wherever I go, I choose to sit on the last bench, because I want to see everyone, what they are thinking, what they are doing. And I have this habit, whenever I enter into a meetup or a conference, even before I start, I always take a round, right? So this is something which I have kind of figured out for myself. I'm not sure how much is it valuable, for the others as well. And see the sponsors who are over there, right? Let's say if I'm watching seeing any chain, any wallet, any these things, and study that how this thing probably function. What is wallet? How the wallet is associated with this chain.
Yeah.
What is DEX?
Yeah.
What is DEX is, and how DEX is better than CEX, right? And what are the fundamental of exchanges. And eventually this has got built up, and I came up with a solid understanding of the ecosystem of the Web3, right? And now in the background I wanted to integrate Solidity Scan with everything. For example, if I'm talking to you, and you are a founder of a DApp. So DApp in Web3 means Decentralized Applications. Just like we have applications in Play Store, they are the Web2s. But in Web3, it's called DApps, Decentralized Applications, right? So let's say if you're a founder of a DApp, right? And DApp has got some use case to solve, right? And I know this for a fact that each and every damn DApp will be, using the security somewhere down the line.
Absolutely, yes.
That is important, because अगर तुम chain पे जा रहे हो, तो तुम्हारे लुटने के chances बहुत ज़्यादा हैं, right? And we make sure कि हम उनको safeguard करें, right? And So yeah, I mean, some things, some things worked out, some things that doesn't work out. हम लोग फिर मैं पार्टनर थिंग में भी थोड़ा खेला, क्योंकि मैं किसी के साथ भी पार्टनर, जो लोग आपस में मिले, लेट्स पार्टनर, हाँ ठीक है भाई, लेट्स पार्टनर, देखते हैं आगे कहाँ तक जाते हैं. तो सोशल मीडिया मैं थोड़ा सा बस क्रिएट करना स्टार्ट किया. एंड अगेन एंड एलोन, राइट? आई मीन एलोन मस्क का कब एल्गोरिथम चेंज हो जाए कुछ पता नहीं चलता. तो कभी देखते हैं ट्विटर बढ़ रहा है, कभी देखते हैं ट्विटर घट रहा है. तो एक तो वो रेड मार्क अलग ही, बुल मार्केट वैसे ही चल रहा है, हर जगह ब्लड बाथ हो रखा है, राइट? सो आई हैड दिस a bit of an insecurity, why this is not working. Yeah, मतलब I'm on ground, I'm talking to a lot of people, I'm talking to developers as well, I know product, I know bit of a industry, but if I'm summing up all these things, and I understand the security from the horse's mouth only, because
Right.
the one who's going to use it is actually teaching me, right?
Yeah.
Even after that, things are not working out for me. But so I was just casually scrolling my Twitter, and I saw, I won't take the company's name, I'm sorry, but I just copied their strategy, right? So they did something called find the bug, a sort of challenge.
Got
right?
it. Yeah.
Then something was running behind my mind कि ठीक है यार, इसको try करके देखते हैं. So what they used to do, they just put up a snippet of a Solidity code,
Uh-huh.
let the people to come and solve that on Twitter, and that's it, right?
Perfect. Yeah.
And
That's like an online hackathon.
online hackathon, yeah. Online, or probably
Contest.
yeah, correct.
More like
A bit of a
yeah.
contest. And if
Yeah.
you want to add some masala, कि तुमको ये मिल जाएगा, वो मिल जाएगा, I
Yeah.
mean, that is something that is there. But the core is that he's actually, I understood his intentions, right? He actually allowed the community to participate,
Right.
right? Because the basics of the Web3 and the decentralized thing is that it is driven by the community.
Right. He also gamified it.
Yeah, and it is also gamified as well,
Yeah.
because that gives an engagement to to kind of solve.
Right.
I sat with the social media guy. I just asked him, let's try 2-3 of these snippets, and we'll see where it will go. Right? And we did that, and that was a eureka moment for us. I mean, it worked out pretty well. That okay, so on our Twitter there are only 2,066 followers. I just checked in the morning, right? So which is, and I'm proud to say that all these crowd of 2,000 people, they are the legit followers, right? They engage because this is something which I've organically earned, right? Not the broad, because people, if you pay 10,000 rupees to someone, and if you play some bots, you eventually will have 10,000 followers on Twitter, which is again a bubble.
That's just a vanity metric then.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
So 2,000 followers. If you check the followers list, Patrick Collins and some big names from the security is also following us, right? And over the time we have kind of built this because of the value. Now this comes on another thing, on another piece of this podcast is the value.
Right.
I am a guy who can use the money, but would always want to go on 3 single things: organic, relationships, relationship building, and the value. Right, but we'll touch all these pieces in a later stage. Snippets were out, people were engaging. The engagement activity, which was probably 51, 52, 1,500, 1,600, 1,700 within 2 to 3 months.
Wow.
And the whole organic activity, just like I said, right? So I knew that okay, this is going to work out, and we are not going to end it, right? And another thing we would wanted to have is, I mean, when all these things were running, it was a kind of a good moment for us. Okay, there's something is working out for us in some way or other. But deep down, I know that people are, I mean, this is the activity where people are not able to use a Solidity Scan, right? And my, as a growth guy, my core, intention is so that I can actually have people who can come and use the platform, give some feedback, so that we can mature it as well, right? So, this brings us the second piece.
So this solved the awareness problem.
Yes.
But adoption is what you eventually want, right?
Distribution, adoption,
right,
is something which I wanted to have, right? And this particular piece completely run on the organic, relationship based, and the value, right? Keeping all the 3 set as a base.
Right.
New challenge, new month. So again a side note that I personally work. I take my quarter and a month as a theme, right? For example, Q4 I would work on a revenue theme. Q3 I would work on the adoption theme.
Nice.
Q2 awareness theme, right? Q1 probably the learning theme. Could be anything, right? So and I was happy that I was able to stick to it.
Yeah.
So if you ask me your resolution for this year, I probably will answer on 30th of December. I don't want to answer upfront कि ठीक है मैं daily gym जाऊंगा, right? So that doesn't work like that way. So yes, I mean in terms of distribution, now I knew certain things because see मैं बहुत ही मोटा वाला मतलब मोटा धंधे वाला इंसान हूँ, ठीक है? I'm not too much into that, big schools and strategies and bunch of other stuff. I think and then I create the strategy, right? I had this statement in my mind that, take bhai, you built a product, you are good in tech, right? This person is good in making the community, right? Partner with. Yeah. So this partner game is now actually making a lot of sense to me. Yeah. If I partner with him, but now again there's a problem that even if I'm partnering with him, how can I make sure that he will push my product to his community, right? Which was not happening, right? Honestly. And then I was talking to one of my friend very casually. He's from Barcelona, Spain, and his name is Andrew. And another friend, so with three other friends, another friend Sanchit from India. He was also in Barcelona. They kind of hosted an event, ETH Barcelona, and ETH centric events are a very boom globally right now. Right. ETH CC, ETH Paris, ETH India will happen in December. ETH Vietnam is happening. ETH Barcelona, Bali, and you pick up any country and there's an ETH event is happening. Right. And that a load of money is actually flowing into these events. $20,000, $50,000. So this event is happening in September. Token 204 in Singapore. I probably will be visiting over there. The title sponsorship amount is 300K. Wow. Right, which is roughly 2.5 CR. Right? And people are paying for it. I mean, look there. If you resist, then they'll think it's ठीक है, Don't tell me you got it for free. Let's not jump into that part. Yeah. But I'll touch base, all those things as well. Right. Because I wanted to have I wanted to touch the another part of the platform as well, which I haven't talked about yet. Yeah. But I just wanted to have this conversation more to developer focused and then enter into the B2B focused as well. Sure. So free thing, no, let's not talk not talk about that part. I was casually chatting with Sanchit and Andrew the other day. I think it's May this year, and they were hosting a ETH Barcelona and as well as the hackathon, right? So they were like, "Hey, ek kaam kar, why don't you distribute your credits?" I was like, "What is distributing my credits?" It's like you come on board, right? I'll give you some title like launch partner or security partner or whatever, right? And you offer some bounties. So bounties. Now I was connecting the dots. Why? Because every hackathon has got 3-4 keywords as a base. Yeah. Price pool, bounty, and developer support. I just connected all three. I said, okay, I am here to support the developers with these many credits as a bounties. And this statement was making sense to a lot of hackathons. Right. Sankalp, you're leaving for Goa tomorrow, right? Yes. What are you going to do there? Very excited. I mean, we are we have seen a journey from an attendee to a title sponsor. That itself is a kind of a feeling which I would want to, kind of give a gratitude to that particular event as a, as a journey, more than just attending a conference. So yeah, I mean, our booth is there. So I'm looking forward to have, some active participation from the developer side as well. I'm going to give some, insightful sessions as well on adding a Web3 security, on top of the Web3 protocols is something that that is my topic is, where I mean, preferably I'm going to talk about how apart from the developers, how a Web3 projects can possibly use Solidity Scan as a security layer to just safeguard it. So I mean, there are things which are quite excited about it. We're taking swags, some T-shirts, some badges, and probably a lot of memories from the past year. So let's see. I'm assuming that to be good. So yeah. What were the memories from the last year? I mean, as I said, right? Because there were a few dark things that happened, at that time, and we, as a company, as an individual, we overcome all those challenges, right?
Right.
And we kind of attend the conference for the very first time. So yeah, I mean, those were the memories, some good, some bad. Probably I'll focus on the good memories, because bad eventually, probably eat up my time and energy over there as well.
Right.
So gonna, just party, just dance over there, conference, band bhi aa rahe hain, kuch to wahan pe acha hone wala. There's a cruise party that is happening, so let's see if I can be a good poker player or not. वैसे मैं नहीं हूँ, but let's see how it goes. So I was talking about the value part of it, how well we have positioned ourselves in the hackathons as a distribution network. So far, right after ETH Barcelona, when we have cracked it from Andrew and Sanchit, where I had a word. After this Web3 Conf Goa, then there's a ABC conclave that is happening in October, and then ETH Vietnam, and then ETH Bali, if ETH Bali is happening, and BizThon is happening across all the IITs. So they've also onboarded me as a mentor.
Nice.
Probably visiting some top IITs to deliver some insightful security sessions over there as well. And yeah, I mean, since this is working out for us for the next year, I'm definitely gonna double down it on the numbers. Possibly trying to cover each and every hackathon, if I can, of course, right? So yeah, I mean, that is something where we have kind of positioned ourselves.
So when you go to such events, I mean, what's your standard pitch? How do you communicate the value that Credshields has to offer to people who you talk to?
Well, companies like Credshields exist a lot, right? So I need not to talk on the Credshields part a lot, because that is a kind of a narrative which other companies gives better than me.
Right.
But when the product kicks in, there's no one like us, honestly, and I've got that covered. Why? Because in the starting I said, right, I've learned these narratives, these keywords from the developers. I know that what they know, right, what they would want to know,
right,
what they think. I understood the journey very closely from starting up to a building of a project, right?
Yeah.
So I just try to be a friend of them. Let's say if Angad is a good developer, right? I can help you with some free bounties.
Right.
Just use it. Some my partners as well as some friends, right? They are there to support me, so that particular individual does not feel left alone, right?
Right.
So that is these are the key things where I kind of figure it out. For the sessions, I generally tend to keep it very casual, very light, very layman, because I'm a mechanical engineer, become marketeer, and now growing a cybersecurity company. So if I as an individual understood the security masala, right? So there must be some self-learning pace that has happened with me, and if it is worth learning for me, I guess it is worth learning for everyone.
Correct.
So I just share my journey, my how I kind of understood. So in this podcast, we just had a very very superficial journey of how I just went up there and watched the company and what not. But probably for the developer centric conference or a meetup or a workshop, I just try to keep the conversation just like as their friend. कि भाई कितने लोग डेवलपर हैं, सब लोग हाथ उठाते हैं, कितने लोगों को पता सिक्योरिटी आती नहीं आती है, because see I can wear that suit boot going on a stage, right, that read the PPTs, okay, blah 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 blah. I don't want to do that, right? Because I'm there. I learned that from the Steve Jobs, right? Steve Jobs, if you see his marketing or the product launch videos, he never sell the product. He sell the results. He sell the value. He sell the results. That if a guy, I recently saw a marketing video and I could relate that a guy was driving a tractor in Mexico, right? Basically ek khale मैदान में. Now if you're driving in a barren land, your phone battery might get dried up.
Right.
He hit that point that a guy was driving into middle of nowhere in Mexico and his iPhone 14 Pro Max was not going out of the battery, because that is the result.
Right.
They showed the result and then they build the story. So what the other companies are doing right now, they probably just present the product first and they just try to deliver the result later. And that's how I kind of stole that thing from Steve Jobs, right? If you see his iPod presentation, he first talked a story that imagine 1,000 songs in a one single pocket. Have you guys imagined it? No. Then he's just got
Takes
the
it out,
iPod. Correct. So very, very similar, right? I just try to be them as a friend. I, as a guy, would, is writing some contracts, probably would not be able to understand that, hey, how do I secure it, right? Because that is the common discussion between the folks, right? Because if I am delivering a session, and imagine the crowd, apart from the conference, if they're at their house and connecting themselves online, they're like, यार अब audit कहाँ से कराना है यार, पैसे बहुत चार्ज करेंगे लोग, क्या करेंगे, right? So I know the conversation between, right, कि उनके बीच में क्या बात होती है, and that is the reason why I only deliver those points which fill in those gaps in the conversation, right? For example, hey Angad, ऑडिट कहाँ से कराना है यार, बहुत महंगे ऑडिट्स हो रहे हैं, तो अंगद इज लाइक यार पता नहीं, इतने सारी कंपनीज हैं, वो इतना चार्ज करते हैं, वो इतना चार्ज करते हैं, तो फिर if I am giving a session, I probably will say that this is the most affordable solution that you can literally do a soft vulnerability detection in $30, which is sometimes, I don't want to comment on a number, but sometimes it's 100x 150x lower than what people are already paying for the manual working check, right? So these are the things where I just kind of position myself in delivering the sessions and the talks.
But how do you identify the decision makers to sell this message to? So that's the classic difference between Web 2.0 and 3.0, right? With this Web 2.0, you're just like you know the person that you have to actually communicate the message to. Web 3.0, it's decentralized by definition. So
I mean, it can be a very long answer, but just try to keep it very short and point wise. Decision makers are still there, because that centralized thing is not diluted properly from someone's head who's running a Web3 company, but even they know that the decision has to come from the community, right? So whenever I'm, let's say with this podcast, if the Web3 folks are watching this, right, it will be a set of community. Let's say 100 people are watching it, 10% of them are possibly into one single community, and if I say that 2 people understood the value of the product, they will use it and then they will pass on the messages to others, right? And apart from this, let's say if I'm talking to any good project, right, where the actual integrational based use cases are getting solved, then it has to be go via a certain hierarchy, just what we do in the Web 2. For example, recently we were able to crack XDC. It's a L1 from Dubai, L1 chain, and so the use case was that we would want to integrate into the Explorer. So whoever deploy the smart contract into the Explorer, that probably will go via this Solidity Scan showing the scoring part and rug pull score and a bunch of other stuff. And in order to make their own community aware, so either you hit communities or you can hit the project. Either way, it has to go within the community, because those are the people who can literally push and can pull the product as well. They can create this as a Chandrayaan 3, or they can create as a, I don't know what, could be anything. Just like Apollo 11 का I think fake news कुछ तो बाहर हुआ था ना, कि Area 51 में shoot किया गया, though it was fake, but right, some negative marketing was there.
There's a conspiracy theory that Stanley Kubrick shot the whole landing.
Correct. So that is so those are the things which that is also comes from the community only, because masses was saying कि अच्छा ठीक है वो सब shoot किया गया था, everything was fake, and that is the reason why literally everyone knows कि हाँ ठीक है Apollo 11 पता नहीं सही में हुआ था भी या नहीं हुआ.
Right. So, Sankalp, can you tell me a bit about the Solidity Scanner?
Sure. It's a as I said, it's a developer-first tool that helps, or probably with the keyword, that empower, that equip the developers to make their smart contracts safe. They literally can find the vulnerability on the fly when they're actually building up, because that is the biggest problem right now. That how about if a guy can literally remove the vulnerability while he is building up his project? Why he want to wait for the 3 months to get developed and 4 months for the auditing part, right? And the platform is the most mature platform as of now in the whole Web3 space, with 131 patents is strong. Now, patents is something that defines the maturity of the tool, not the UI UX part, to be honest. It has to be good, but it's not the moat, right? The moat has to be 2 things, either the tech on the distribution of the marketing. I think distribution, I cracked it. Technical team and the Shashank and the research team is already cracked into the tech moat as well. And yes, so basically we kind of position this platform into 2 segments. One as a B2B, as a B2C. So B2C is, for the retail, for the community developers, everyone can use it. For the B2B, it has to be very use case specific now, because security is a good to have thing for for each and every protocol, each and every project. Now there are certain use cases which I personally and Indranil along with myself, we together in the multiple discussions as well as from the lot of rejections, we kind of figured out ki nahi boss ye bhi kar sakte hain. So for example, we have figured out few use cases. Number one is the L1 L2 chains, NFT marketplaces, DEXs, bridges, and whatever related to these DEXs and the bridges. There are some certain use cases of DEXs as well, but holistically, DEX, bridges, swaps, NFT marketplaces, and chains. We have successfully bilaterally integrated into Reef chain. So if someone happened to stumble upon the Reef Explorer, they can come into the Solidity Scan page, and Solidity Scan can go from the Reef. We have already closed multiple like signed partnership with XTC.
Nice.
And there are a few which I probably cannot take the name right now under the discussions. And when the Reef made the block public, we got 3-4 inbounds from the L1s and L2s, which they would want to use the platform. So that kind of use case is working out for us, and I believe it's a very good to have thing. Apart from it, Solidity Scan team has built a quick scan. It's a open to all. Anyone can use it. There's no payment break in between, and that is the platform that depicts and tells the rug pull score of the particular smart contract, whether that smart contract can get rugged or not. Right. So this scoring out of 100 that along with a soft audit report, that is something which we have kind of positioned for the retail investors, liquidity providers, normal developers, if someone want to play, and people are playing for it as well. We've checked the insights that majority of the folks that are coming on the website are going to the quick scan.
Nice.
So they want to just see, right? Everyone want to break the things, right?
Yeah.
They just want to see कि कितना secure है कि नहीं है. Even I when I joined joined the company, मैंने भी देखा कि यार ठीक है, इसको उठाते हैं, इसको तोड़ते हैं, इसको उठाते हैं, इसको स्कैन मारते हैं. So yeah, all in all, that is something which is we have built internally. And
is there anything else that's coming up?
Well, we are gonna more mature the quick scan a lot in terms of getting this security for the organizations done. Apart from this, hackathons is something which is close to my heart right now. I'm gonna be there like each and every hackathon. There is something in anticipation, of course. 100% and not. I'm just thinking, working on the roadmap from the growth standpoint, that possibly in Q2 in the next year, I probably will start a series of hackathons hosted by us, having some good partners who literally understand the security part and can willing to come on board with us and just take the rocket ahead.
Perfect. If someone wants to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
Telegram. SKY _ Sankalp, SANKALP. That's my ID. I am always online on Telegram, apart from when I'm sleeping. And literally, I have this thing that I respond to each and every message, right? Even if someone trying to do some, trading sort of messages, hey Sankalp, what's going on? And so I was just like, listen, I'm going to block you. But I respond, but I'm going to block you, right? So I kind of respond to everyone, right? And this is something which, so Telegram is the thing. Discord is also a go-to platform for the Web3 folks, but I'm not a Discord finicky guy. I just tend to keep myself on WhatsApp, email, and the Telegram. That's it. On LinkedIn.
Perfect. Thank you, Sankalp. It was a pleasure having you here. We look forward to the next time you're here. I hope this was an enjoyable experience for you. It was for me, certainly.
For sure, I think I made a good friend.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Let's take this our partnership as well.
Yeah.
To a level where together we can support a lot of people who are trying to figure out the Web3 space.
Amazing, man. Thanks for coming. See you. Bye.